This video explains about the dumb things that adults are doing to children in the United States of America, and in this state, this would be Florida.
Okay, she's gonna have to come with us now.
Okay, Kai, we gotta go with them, baby girl.
Stand up.
This is the arrest of 6-year-old KAIA ROLLE.
What are those for?
Caught on body camera, KAIA was arrested and zip-tied by a school resource officer at her elementary school in Orlando, Florida in 2019.
Don't put handcuffs on! Help me!
Welcome to Straddled Events. On this channel, we talk about controversial issues around the world, and we bring you the truth. Sometimes the truth is quite ugly, unbearable, and you just don't want to deal with it. But on this channel, you're going to get it anyway. Most of you are straddling the fence between good versus evil, right versus wrong. And on this channel, we're going to tell you to do better. Let's go. This is one of those videos that automatically make you want to just see red and spit fire out your mouth and just slap the piss out of somebody.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Because when does common sense kick in to know that you shouldn't put handcuffs on a 6-year-old child? She's 6 years old. And the look in this police officer's eyes, he knew damn well he was doing something wrong. That's why your ass got fired, as you should have. And a law had to be passed to tell grown-up ass people not to put handcuffs on 6-year-old children. Shame on America, shame on Florida, shame on your ass for doing something stupid. Y'all need to do better. What the hell is going on with these grown people? You have terrorized this child and traumatized this child, and she will never be the same. Do better next time.
At the time of KAIA's arrest, Florida had no minimum age laws, leaving children of all ages eligible for arrest by law enforcement officers at school.
KAIA, as a 6-year-old, was arrested. She was handcuffed behind her back, and the only reason that she was handcuffed with zip ties is because the officer said that he didn't have handcuffs small enough to fit her wrists. KAIA was so short, he had to go and find a footstool for her to stand up on so that she would be at the appropriate height level for him to take her mugshot.
I was really scared and confused. I was like, what? Why are those police officers for me?
The number of reported law enforcement in Florida schools nearly doubled the year before KAIA's arrest.
Out. Go. Oh, no, you want to touch me? I'm not going to hurt you.
Don't give me any.
Put your hand behind there.
We shouldn't be putting handcuffs on 6-year-olds. There's almost no situation in which that is an appropriate response.
Experts say rising numbers of school arrests in the state can be significantly attributed to a piece of legislation passed in the wake of the Parkland school shooting, the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act.
The act actually requires that all public schools in the state, which should include both traditional and charter schools, have an armed individual on campus at all times. It could be a sworn law enforcement officer implemented as a school resource officer. It could be a private security guard who's also armed but is not a sworn law enforcement officer and doesn't have arrest powers. Or it could be implemented through what we call the Guardian program in Florida, which is arming a school staff member. And so school resource officers in some ways are part of a bigger trend towards target hardening and trying to protect schools.
Florida school arrests fell statewide during the first year of the pandemic, but now Floridians are heading back to in-person classrooms. According to the ACLU, in 2018, Florida classrooms had more police officers than nurses, and more than double the number of police officers than social workers or school psychologists. KAIA ROLLE's family want the public to understand that the trauma of arrests leave lasting mental scars on kids, ones KAIA is still living with 2 years later.
Before the incident, KAIA was an awesome young lady.
Yeah, do you see anyone?
I went over there.
She wanted to hug everybody. She wanted to sing for everybody. She wanted to dance for everybody. That was awesome.
Thank you.
As a result of the incident, KAIA has been diagnosed with PTSD, with severe separation anxiety. She almost has a solitary lifestyle now. She's become a totally different child.
I feel sad about what happened at school with the police officer because I think he was really mean to me. And now, presenting the toys of destruction, my diary.
KAIA's case made national news. After an investigation, the Orlando Police Department fired the school resource officer who arrested her, saying that the arrest of any person under the age of 12 requires approval, and that this approval was not obtained in KAIA's case. The family says her charges were dropped.
I was tight.
Okay, that's okay.
Pearls.
Now,
The Roll family then worked with their state senator to raise the minimum age that a child can be arrested in Florida. The KAIA ROLLE Act took effect on July 1st, 2021. It states that any Florida child under the age of 7 will not be arrested, charged, or adjudicated, except in the cases of forcible felony.
it took a lot out of me to fight. And I fought really hard because I did not want to see this happen to another family. That does not stop our fight. She turned 8, and this was in May, and she said to me, she says, Grandma, that means that my own law no longer protects me.
The Roll family want the minimum age of arrest in Florida to be raised again, and they also want the state to look into the role of SROs as a whole.
What we need to do is have serious conversations about whether they should be present in schools at all. Then we need to couple that with rigorous looks at the way in which we train them, the ways in which we try to minimize their bias when it comes to dealing with students of color, to ensure that if they are going to be present, that we minimize unintended negative consequences.
Well, for KAIA, the future is a long road. You can learn to live with it. You can learn to regain semblance of normalcy, but there's no such thing as curing PTSD.